Hello everyone, I'm Coyote Jack. Then there is a lot of rants that I want to give it to you, but well, first one I really want to start with Codemasters, man. Well, I found this one, but it's kind of irrelevant in this part. So Codemasters, they were developers for racing games for the most part. They started with the famous rally driver Colin McRae, and they They participated in F1 series. Well, not participated. They themselves have been holding that IP, that license to make Formula One video games for quite a while. And what I enjoyed from them was the deer games back when the passing of Colin McRae in that tragic helicopter accident with his son and a neighborhood. One neighbor with his son also. Yeah, kind of double tragedy there. They couldn't take the name of Colin McRae, so they rebranded what he was racing in deer in rally was the Deer Games. Yeah, and also they did some publishing, but didn't last too much. Oh hey, they remember people only because probably Overlord. The, and The reason why I started this video like this is because, well, the main account of Codemasters is no more, just as much as this one. This article is relevant because, well, Deerfish, if you are aware of the latest entries, Deerfish have been in touch with Codemasters developers. Man, so let's recap here because this is also a mixed bag. Because we are counting not only the mistakes, but well, we are also looking why said mistakes led to them being destroyed by EA. Just like EA, everything that touches it kills it. So, it's better if I start with this headline from Deersfish.com. The worrying announcement for Rally's future. The news that EA Sports will no longer produce the official WRC game is a major worry, writes Alasdair Lindsay. So, what we're getting from this, the reason that Codemasters got bought by EA in the first hand is not because it was a decision from the executives at Codemasters. In fact, the CEO around that time was very fucking pissed because he got fired. Uh, the reason why I'm saying this, for context, Codemasters not only did those rally games, they did an F1 games. They did one of the franchise that I also enjoyed the most, Race Driver Grid, which was like a reboot for Toka racing games. And Race Driver Grid, man, I really enjoyed the hell out of that when I got the first chance to have it. Hell, and even I still wanted a copy for the PS3 because that stupid decisions that they made with the exclusivity deals for the DLC. DLC that never came to PC, but funny enough, it came to Windows. No, excuse me, to Mac, to Apple computers. Yeah, there is that. Maybe that's not the main focus I want to say here. So also they did some very mixed decisions because they created a niche audience that is so involved into racing that well they try to quote unquote innovate, or should I say extra radical changes that they were put out with their entries back in the 2008 moving forward, and they were moving more towards an esports crowd, which is in this case, you know how it is the mistakes there when you start taking away elements that make your games enjoyable. But well, also I have to say, yeah, I tried those games focusing on esports, which is where the Rally 1 and 2.0. And the interesting part is they didn't have that license. The WRC games they were developed by other developers. You know, WRC4 to Generations, those developers. I don't remember their names right now. And Codemasters got in their hands with the WRC licensing to make the WRC games. What's happening? EA bugged them by a hostile takeovers in the stock market because, well, they were a public traded company. There's a lot of lessons, but maybe I'm taking too much time here. Let's continue with the article here. So, measuring hell of world champions in sport goes beyond simply counting the competitors in the field. There are three, or as some say colloquially, 2.5 manufacturers in the World Rally Championship and 8 fully professional salaried drivers. We all notice and we can all see it is not where we want to roll in to be. But look beyond that, and there are more reasons to be concerned. We need a reset, and from a technical standpoint, the ongoing WRC 27 regulation saga seeks to remedy this. But then there is the promotional aspect of this. As several drivers have highlighted, is where the alarm bells are ringing loudest. Yesterday, EA Sports, through the Codemasters Studio, it procured a 2021 for 1.2 billion, announced it will no longer produce the officially licensed WRC video game. At first glance, this will likely generate a collective shrug from non-gamers, especially as the championship messages and the announcement talked of an ambitious new direction. So here's the thing, yeah, those games serve as advertisement also. Also is a niche crowd. You know, just like when I say about fan service video games or hentai games, even if depending on your kin, they're still going to be niche. There is a niche crowd for say games. At this point, we already know that racing games are no different, and especially when they did good things in the past and bad things also. Deer 4 and Deer 3. Or in fact, Deer 2. When Deer 2 released back in 2009, that was like a major advertisement for rallying as a whole, rallycross, and also Gincana because the main focus was having all of uh, uh, those athletes. Yeah, athletes. Yeah, it is an extreme sport, rallying. It's extremely extreme considering the history of that one. So anyway, that game was fucking glorious and also brought names that they were very prominent among that circle that is the extreme games, such as Dave Mirra, God bless his souls, and Ken Block, also God bless his soul. So they did that, and they did an iteration of with Deer 3 that it was just an expanded version of Deer 2, uh, and it was enjoyable because it had the same physics. But sure, a lot of the music, a lot of the chant that it was put into Deer 2, oh man, yeah, it actually blew everyone's mind when it comes to racing games. And when they kinda threw it all away when they released Deer 4 because before Deer 4 it was that game I mentioned, Deer Rally 1.0, which it was a esports focused game in realism and extremely challenging difficulty. Quite enjoyable if you are someone actually like some challenging in racing games. But well, yeah, it's also frustrating, and I'm going to deny that. And if you hear me that I said that they dropped the ball hard with Deer 4, man, 5 Or should I say, did you show them? Because those to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's the like kind of the best example when you create something from a niche crowd that really enjoyed your gameplay, and you try to replace them with non-racing video game players, customers. You try like to go to the wider audience. Yeah, it's something that like that can happen in games, in racing video games. Not only with the presentation, the gameplay, the core mechanics. Yeah, you can go full retarded. They did it with Gear 5. And also they did some stupid shit like back when Slightly Max Studios, the ones that developed Need for Speed Shift, they decided to be very far away from EA. So this guy, Ian Belly, was the one in charge of the studio itself, now self-publishing themselves. No, they were Bandai Namco helped them to publish their game. They were developing a racing simulator that, yeah, it was also extremely challenging and had some issues, but they built an audience from them. Despite that, yeah, they backstabbed the Wii U crowd because he announced that he was going to release the game on Wii U, and they never did that. And even look at the file size of that game, you just have it because there's already Project Cars. That's the one I'm referring to. Project Cars. mm, It was supposed to release on the Wii U, despite and it never did. Despite that, yeah, that guy accepted money from it. Well, yeah. Moving on, he built his niche audience of racing simulators, just like when even Assetto Corsa was creating something. And then they did Project Cars 2, which it was also well received and also had rally. But what is the problem with that one? And what is involved with the Codemasters? Are you going to get that? So they, for Ian Bell, had like the fucking bright idea, allegedly, because when I saw this rumor, I kinda make it for granted. Maybe because my bias towards wokeness. And yeah, I'm mentioning wokeness. Because when someone was commenting that, hey, Fast and Furious Crossroads, that dog shit, Fast and Furious games, Fast and Furious Crossroads, it was developed by the same studio that did those two good games, Project Cars 1 and 2. And they spent a lot of fucking money to pay to Universal to license that IP for a lot of years. Okay, a lot of fucking money, and of course that money we never seen it, not even in the trailers, not even with people playing it, because you can tell the game is dog shit just by looking at it and people playing it. And well, what happens to Project Cars? Project Cars 3, it's in development. But you know what they did? Just like again, backstabbing the niche audience in the name of the wider audience, like now they like to call it nowadays. You take away the best parts of the simulator part of racing, and you try to do a lame ass version of Need for Speed Shift. Need for Speed Shift, but tone the fuck down. Yeah, they did some very stupid decisions. And what's interesting from this? Codemasters was the publisher of Project Cars 3, allegedly, or I can be wrong. I don't remember right now. Even I have a copy, let me check. Okay, now, they, it was still Bandai Namco, the publisher. But yeah, around that time when they were on the final stage to releasing uh, Project Cars 3, they got bought by Codemasters. I'm just like, why would you buy something like that with so much baggage? Yeah, that's when Codemaster steps in, and then they were bleeding a lot of money, but still they were making F1 games, and they had the Rally 2.0, and despite all of those predicaments, they got in their hands with the license for WRC, because within WRC it means that you can have access like brands like Toyota and Hyundai. And well, EA decided, I want to do a hostile takeover. They did. At first, they fired a lot of people. They actually shut down Slightly Mac Studios and Project Cars for good, despite that it was also in development. Yeah, it was like kind of the and fuck you to Bell. And then we saw what they did with Grid Legends. A game that was supposed to succeed better than Gran Turismo, and also plays better than Gran Turismo, yeah. Even if I know I'm sounding biased here, and looks better. And you know why that game flopped? Because EA was the one trying to sabotage, just like every single time those executives feels like a haram to like, nah, it's maybe like a humiliation riddle. And the humiliation riddle they always start is fucking over the developer they just acquired. And just like I said, Grid Legends was developed by Codemasters, and the release date is when they fucked them over, because they released that game intentionally around the time that it was Gran Turismo 7 to be released and Elden Ring. Yeah, you know how fucking evil this company is. And they shut down the Deer games. They were going to continue with, okay, we are going to do Deer games even if they are like Deer Rally 3.0, whatever. No. EA, when they see, oh, we lost the license, we are going to shut down everything. And yeah, now they also shut down the account from Codemasters. It no longer exists. And that's why we are here, even with this 17 million minute long video at this point. So that's the context I want you to fill in. They are just finally scrapping up Codemasters. They are, they still have F1, but that one also have dropped in quality, because from what I have seen, they doubled down in microtransactions, classic EA. And if they end and they also the sales have been dropping non-stop. You know, they did better with the last game when they were still Codemasters as a developer and publisher itself. F1 2020. EA put their hands on it after the 21st, and it has been going downhill ever since by the ones that actually played those games. Just like the crowd that complains and still consumes the esports now called nowadays the ex FIFA games. Well, I have to tell you, the F1 people have more standards, and they actually stopped consuming the moment even quality dropped extra hard. We were talking about even selling like 5 million copies to even selling a mere 300 copies. Yeah, they fuck up. The EA is intentionally fucking up everything. And even I don't know what they're trying to gain with fucking over Codemaster, because if they left them to do what they know best, even they will make more money despite the microtransactions, but not. You bet that they is always like this. And well, like I said, EA shit the bed so hard that, well, you know what? Fuck this. So yeah, there are not going to be any more re-rally games. Hell, I have to wonder if the F1 games are going to continue if they are not losing that license also. Or all the developers at this point left, and the only DEI hires they still have inside EA are the ones that pull out that crap, but I really doubt it. I really fucking doubt it, man. So yeah, I'm struggling to feel excited for what a late Master announcement was a, a god punch, yep. Rip. And the last thing they did with WRC was a DLC for the season 2024. They were planning one this year. Well, that's over, man. That's fucking over. And yeah, it's EA because yeah, nickel and dime you microtransactions, field game. Sure, you have the core gameplay of Codemasters because they are the only ones I think they know how to do rally. Well, you can bet a second guess with Breakfast, the developers bug billboard. They are so slow as fuck, and don't really like how they push their early access. I'm not convinced yet with Breakfast 2 until it's actually completed. Even I have going to wait even after launch until they announce all the DLC, and I'm going to wait even more, just like I did with the original Breakfast. And even I have to say, to this day, with all the content and a discount, you can enjoy that, and also you can have that off-road racing there. That feels nice, and also has good crashing physics. Because yeah, that's also part of that. Codemaster used to do better the crashing physics if you play the Deer games and Race Driver Grid, Grid 2, and Grid Autosport. Yeah, the deformation of the car was top notch. So yeah, the whole video of this because well more like a run and kinda yeah I kinda feel they got in the punch because yeah those two developers even they still had something that I enjoyed from them but well it was kinda expecting when you bust up beforehand you kinda drop the ball and backstab your audience that you grew up with to chase the esports. The esports crowd is not so big as you expected, but still you create something that it is for racing players enjoyable, and then you fuck up like with Deer 5. You fuck up by buying Selected Mind Studios. And yeah, I no, I also forgot what is saying. Ah, yeah, with Codemasters. No, Slightly Max Studios. You know I mentioned it, wokeness, right? Well, that rumor I saw when people were mad at Project Castro was like allegedly one developer said something. You can actually claim that I'm just making that up, but well, I'm just going to deliver it to you. That developer claimed that he worked at Slightly Max Studios and he saw that they were doing the mother audience, but the reason why they bought Fast and Furious IP licensing to make games was because there was a fucking Truni obsessed with that franchise, and he used HR as a as a weapon, like all of these fucking Trunis and all of these walkers always do, and forced the executives to buy the IP. And also because what I heard, they inserted a Truni character in Fast and Furious. I don't remember that part at one point. Honestly, I will be fucking hilarious to me if I go search it and I not find it. But well, Crossroad, it was so fucking dog shit looking at the gameplay that not even want to see the next details. And also while they were switching within the development of Project Castro, all I have been saying is, yeah, developers have been fucking it up. They backstabbed audience after audience. They ended up well in the situation of being absorbed because they were a real company, and this is the fucking result. And even I have to say, I kind of feel let down with this one because, yeah, I'm some of the ones that enjoy the Rally 2.0. Despite all the flaws of Dirt 4, I enjoyed it. I also enjoyed the Grid reboot, despite that, yeah, it was a fucking dog shit. Ah, man, Codemasters, yeah, they have been dropping the ball to quite a while. And sure, just like with the niche audience, there is lots of samples. Fan service games, and shooter games as we have seen, adventure games, all sort of genres. They all because of the mother audience, the wider audience, they backstab the niche audience. and take away the elements that they were enjoying within those games. In the sequels, they fuck up, and that's the end result. Yeah, I already said what I really needed to say. So anyway, thanks for watching and please take care.